Schönen guten Morgen, herzlich willkommen auf der JCon. Oh, sorry, I need to switch in English. this, this was this was a small request. I submitted everything in German and say, Richard, thank you. You translated automatically. So I'm part of the global Java team, working mostly with GraalVM with our colleagues from the Oracle labs, Fabio, Alina, and all the colleagues, and covering projects in Europe for customer projects for GraalVM, and sometimes for Northern America as backup. So few people taking care about customer issues and the onboarding stuff, proof of concept, and of course Java. I was from the beginning with the industry, with my own company, with Oracle for C programming, client server optimization on the database, and Texas Instruments modeling large projects, customer insurance systems. Then I joined Sun Microsystems with Java, and then I worked for BA 10 years, and then we got acquired 2008 from Oracle, and 1 year later Sun Microsystems. So it was a seamless journey, and I see a lot of different project things, people using different versions, and this was a talk about my experience, what I saw along the feature set. So the journey, 30 years of Java. What about the JDK releases? And of course, my session is normally longer, and sometimes it gets into a workshop. So I have enough material. I need to bring it on a smaller level, and then I give you some advice how you can approach migration, a serious migration for large volume, for higher volume, for enterprises. And this is the migration guide, mostly documented on the significant changes we can step through. It's like a checklist that will you get at the end, and what's with the APIs, a different view, and the third view is a code view. Of course, you need to embrace new APIs, and everything will be a comprehensive thing and fit together. This is the journey. I always do this by the end of the year, each year, and do the milestones and mostly Java things and some parts from Graal. I hope you can see this, and I show this by the end of the year, mostly to update it. We are here now. I don't know if you can read it. 30 years of Java, and though there's a lot of stuff, and everyone have some other highlights. I bring some highlights here from the Java one, from Mark Reinhold from this year, and to me it was a great feeling with Sharad Chender yesterday, brought back this feeling to Cologne. So you can imagine how this would be if you be really on site and maybe in San Francisco or somewhere in California. So Mark Reinhold, he's one of the chief architects and a known person for Java, and he celebrates this at Java 1, and he showed a picture of the Java 1 2005, and you see this was a conceptual thing, that you have a language, though it's very easy to have a conceptual thing of a language, but you get maybe in some years 80% of the language if you do it, and then the last 20% is like a hard work, like a Grinch. It's hard really to work with and to proceed. You always find some things on the top level where you need to change on the bottom. Memory management, JVM, language behavior, all this stuff. And sometimes the best thing is to leave things out. So we had bright engineering people, they had good thoughts on Thursday, Friday, and on Monday they came back and refused it. Yeah? After talking to John Rose, he is the brain behind the JVM. So many people need to discuss this. If you change things, yeah, that could occur problems, yeah, and the best thing is it's readable, yeah, of course it's writable, and it's maintainable. You find people about this, the understanding is there, and as you heard yesterday from the beginning, runs anywhere on several operating systems. So compatibility is key. This means backward compatibility, and I had some large customers for business issues. They need to freeze JDK 1.6 applications because they need to preserve this for medical reasons for 30 years. So, and what did we do with 3,000 instances? We just brought it on higher versions. We don't have any engineering people, any developers for this. Yeah? A different company bought this. Yeah? So what would you do? You migrate this. If you can't maintain the source, it's binary compatible. The behavioral thing is there, and the intellectual thing is there. How people program. You can share these ideas, and this is all behind a migration that sometimes are small steps, sometimes are bigger steps, but it's hard to change things because this is the code of conduct for the designing Java. So you got integrity by default. A lot of things you did not recognize at the moment they occur, like the platform module system or Java module system. People thought, well, what is this? It was housekeeping just for the Java platform itself. And some releases later with JDK 11, we were able to carve out things like the JavaFX UI client libraries. Not everyone use it. We could carve it out, and with JLink we can align it back. So we have different possibilities to carve things out and to bring it back, and they are synchronized, aligned with the Oracle JDK, OpenJDK and JDK. Both are the Oracle OpenJDK and the JDK are technically identical, but the different licenses. GPL ClassPass version 2, and on the other hand, it's the Oracle license, the NFTC license for higher versions. Who is using Java 8? 11? This one? Yeah. And 17? 21? Okay. So this is my 24 early 25 early access releases. Okay, so this year is a year where we get the new JDK 25 as an LTS release in September. Yeah, and that's very good that you approach JDK 21, but you can run all the versions, but it should be intrinsic motivation to get up, to keep up with the latest, greatest APIs, to get familiar, and for some reasons to prepare the production side, to prepare these applications for deprecated packages, APIs, and lots of stuff is gone. Who is using the Java Security Manager? That's the yeah, you might be using NetBeans. So yeah, I was yesterday a chat with Jaroslav Tullacher, one of the former colleagues from founder of NetBeans and in the Oracle Labs, and he was complaining. He said, "Bring back the Security Manager." And Mark Reinhold said clearly, if no one use it, we just switch it off. And then this is a thing. And many pieces at the Sun conceptual Java set, they were there, but you need to embrace this in your application. And sometimes people pass by and leave it out because it works without. Yeah. And so be careful with many of these removed things or marked as deprecated. We say we mark a feature as deprecated, but we don't know say when, because we need to track this, that it's safely, smoothly phased out. Yeah. One of the very good things I really saw in the past was a zero garbage collector, and who was using CMS, throughput collector, garbage first, and yeah. So this journey from current markup sweep and throughput collector, we had 20 pages of tuning parameters. Each application were different. If you are aware of one, yeah, and thought you can use it for the next one, you had to change it again. Yeah. And this is really a hard thing, that you optimize applications. So the garbage first with large memory regions and 1 megabyte memory regions was one thing to get the approach one size fits all for 80%. Yeah. And this is something where you need to handle large heaps. Yeah. We had applications in the past, 24 gigabytes of heap with distributed systems and clusters spreading across continents. It's hard. Yeah? Sometimes you need to stop at a certain point and restart, and this is a business issue for these kind of keeping the whole stuff, the heap all right. So you should not worry about pause times. They should be reduced. And this was the improvement from 17, so from 11 to 15 to 17, that in 99% and more, this is the baseline for an acceptable latency or pause time. Yeah? It was smaller and smaller with larger heap sizes, and it was more and more usable. And for people in the past did this with business analytics and running now large language models locally, this is a good thing, yeah, to combine this with the zero garbage collector. Yeah. So it has been here for a while, and in JDK 21 the generational capability was added, and the maintenance in JDK 23 we will get this. This is from the Java one. If you expect better performance with each release of Java, means you are backward compatible with Java anyway. Yeah? So no doubt, you don't need to recompile it in the first step, only if you grow up with the APIs. So the memory consumption drops with each release. Lower is better, and 24 compared to 21 is almost in the same range on the bottom, the light blue and the yellow one. Though there is a reason why you should migrate. You save memory. And this is the point. You save something which you pay for. And if it's less consumption of memory, you pay less. Even with any cloud providers, that works perfectly. And there's a small company, Uber, they made some analysis on their road trip for individual cars and trips. They can break it down. They get you, and they do this for quality insurance, for their own safetiness, but as well for customer quality. And the Apache Pinot, it's an OLAP database where they can find all this stuff. And they have large systems to run this across the globe with Uber, and this is really fine-grained tracked, the whole data stack. From this was the application architecture, and there is the use case of real-time analysis of all the data they log. And this is done with Apache Pinot, and you find satisfied latency even here with P99 latency. Now in 99% it's perfect with this scenario, and Oh, the on the right side from your view, yeah, you see they roll out one of 6 additional clusters with JDK 21. Yeah, and if the rollout is finished, then 6 of 6 clusters are rolled out, yeah, with the new system, and the memory consumption drops here 20 to 50%. Yeah, memory utilization reduction, and the processor capacity drops down by 50%. This is a tremendous saving for just the red did not come. The curve just drops here, and this is a real measurement of Uber. They showed at Java 1, and of course to uh, go up with the topics. AI is in Java. Of course, everyone is using Python, mostly from university, from different jobs than programming, because they just use the language to make their work, to do simulations, and this is perfectly with Python. Yeah, there are lots of capabilities with GraalVM, of course. It's really usable, and Java is prepared. Underneath, you need what Alina told in many other different talks. Yeah, you need the vector API, you need foreign memory management API, and foreign functions, underneath. So Java need to be prepared for AI, that you can run a large language model locally, and then you have the right garbage collector. This all fits together. The zero garbage collector, all the APIs, and then you get an immediate inference of the large language model with GraalVM, that you can access a token within 25 milliseconds. So on the whole journey, lots of new APIs. You always need to watch out what is new, what might be helpful for my application, in my company, in my environment. Not everything is for everyone, and yeah, of course, you can always be prepared and roll out the latest patch. Sometimes we have projects where no problem of the vulnerabilities, they are fixed, and the patch, they did not occur on this problem. But you be more safety, maybe you don't know there's a problem somewhere else. This is one thing, always patching, always but it's impossible to program and maintain all the APIs from your application. Maybe you just need a subset. And a lot of new stuff is coming, stable values. This is an API for immutable objects, and a lot of different stuff, or Project Babylon with reflecting, it's called reflective programming, reflecting code, and Paul Sanders showed this at Java 1, that he can use local language models and just obtain the processor capacity of GPUs, for instance. This is Project Babylon. So there are a lot of stuff behind on the edges, but the main things are in the releases and carefully driven up. So we are here with JDK 24, and we expect in September 25. These are the LTS releases, and it's free with the NFTC, no fee terms and conditions license, for 3 years. So you can use the Oracle JDK, and you can also use the Oracle Open JDK. But with the Open JDK, you don't have LTS support on this. This is for customers, they want support. If they want support, they are right to run it, and others can use the Oracle JDK with the NFTC, and they just need to set up a timer for 3 years and then, okay, wake up. And always it's 1 year overlap. So there's no pressure, there's 1 year overlap to be prepared for the next NFTC license. The same with Oracle GraalVM for JDK 24 or upcoming 25. There's a GFTC license. So why shouldn't I use Oracle Graal VM, which had a much better performance, more than maybe 50% than the Community Edition, and it's 1.5 year backward. So you can go on with the latest greatest without any payments. You just need to set your timer for 3 years. And behind this, there was a change in the release cadence of 6 months. I can talk for some more minutes about how Sun made the JDKs. At Sun, there was a vendor JDK. It was a Sun JDK, and from this point, they derived their open JDK that changes, like Gerard showed, 2006. Now it's the master system is on open JDK, and it's opened up that everyone can participate with the GitHub repo. That was JDK 1516 Project Scala that helped us to open it up. Before it was the Mercurial repository, and it was very closed and only for experts, really good usable. And it was a fence around. This is gone. It's the open JDK. It's a place to be for Java, for peers, for all the companies. We will come later to this. And we changed this after the acquisition, that it was a predictable release availability of Java every 6 months. So if a feature is not ready, it can't be part of the next JDK, or it will be the next afterwards. So there's a predictable release time-based schedule with 6 months. And this helps us to avoid the higher pillows with the different JDK enhancement proposals called JAPs. So this is not something what is dictated by a company. A JAP is initiated by all of us, by the developer community, by people. Almost 400 are part as named members of the consensus of OpenJDK. So if you have such a large heap of new things you want to build, you don't get it in one release. That was the reason you need to do the housekeeping for JDK 7. Lots of security vulnerabilities, some hundreds. And I hope no one record this with this piece. And this was the housekeeping to make it clear, and then program the features in JDK 8. A major thing was the Lambda expression feature and the stream API. Who's using Lambda expressions in applications? The stream API. And at that time, 2014 with JDK 8, this was a major change. And of course, we observe other behavior, like Microsoft look into GitHub, into their repositories with the Visual Studio Code stuff. People check in. They did this longer than we, and we did this thing for 10 years. If a feature is there, you can watch out for GitHub checked in code, how the behavior of a common group of people is, how behavior is shaped. Brian Götz is watching what is the surrounding, beside the hard conceptual thing of shaping an API. And this stuff could be done very deterministic and predictable, though you can bet on that there will be a next release and it will get supported. So by the way, Oracle is the largest company of Java engineering, and with the support organization we approach almost 1,000. This is the largest. We are the steward of Java, but we really have the capability from the engineering power in California and from the support. And we can extend the support of JDK 8, of course. It's just a timeline, and it could be expanded. like here for December 2030 for JDK8, and I put on JDK 25 upcoming future. It's September 23. So there's a roadmap. Different languages, different techniques don't have such a roadmap where you have a safety net, and you can make use of it, and you decide on your own. So I said Oracle did 75%, say it like this, in conjunction with all the others. Mostly the same amount of issues. They were fixed, 2,400 Jira issues fixed. That's a normal thing. Or if you ask for a Glassfish, if you ask Andro, maybe 1,400, 1,200, something like that. This is normal. And then you have some early access experience, and then you have the GA, and then you have a smoothly approximation of usage. You did not use a brand new release in production where you have 30 millions of bank accounts running at a German bank, for instance. So this is a point. Someone needs to do the work. This is a community, and the open JDK as a place what we really responsible of. So what kind of features? Preview features, incubators. So ideas came from somewhere. Innovation happened elsewhere. You need to embrace it. You need to think about it. A strong team need to rank features, discuss features with all of us. Are they relevant? Then they got incubator status. Then they could be a preview. Preview could be counted up like the vector API with 9th preview. And beware of in migrations. If you use very good ideas like IntelliJ, they do a balance and a consumption within the features, and you don't know, oh, this is a preview, because the IDE is very smart and do the work and keep up. On the command line, you really need to check, is this feature relevant for my application? And otherwise it's not enabled by default from the Oracle JDK. You need to say if you compile it, you compile it without the preview features, and then if you run it with Java, you need to say explicit enable preview, and then you really be safe that you know and control what you do in a migration. So lots of stuff here. I couldn't go through all, and here you see the vector API in the middle. It was a second incubator. A lot of discussion. Of course, it's relevant how the shape of a hardware design, how ASICs are made from the hardware chipset. This is for our times very important. So it must be really bulletproof, and things are deprecated like the RMI activation. They go down. You always need to watch if you use some different parts. And here with JDK 18, we had an insurance company in Germany, and UTF-8. How would you bring Müller in a database with different characters, and all the application parts bringing the wrong name? This is just the thing which is necessary. It shouldn't be longer there before, but UTF-8 is a key point for every country to bring their language proper in their applications. So for a function on the bottom, it was the second incubator. Who's using JNI? Java? Okay, very good one. So I can talk about this. Who's using virtual threads? Some more. A large discussion. Huge virtual threads. They are interesting because you don't need to care about it, and we need to rethink about this. We had this discussion here with Kai Horstmann, and this was interesting. People always think about operating system threats, OS threats, and tuning. They want to get the parameters and do something. And now you get virtual threats. They are 10%, 15% lower in consumption as operating systems for OS threats. And OS threats, you maybe span some thousand, 3, 4 more thousand. And with green threats, with virtual threats, you had millions of threats. And you don't need to care about, because the JVM will do the whole administration, the whole work for you. And this change a lot of reactive programming, reactive frameworks, web frameworks. Everyone should look into this, how you can benefit with own applications on this. JDK 20, going with the APIs. We have talks here for record patterns. You do analysis, you model a company, an insurance company, a customer, and or an ordered item, and a catalog list, and things belong together to this customer, this insurance policy, and you can build a record, like a tuple or something like that in that mind. A record with parts of data, they belong together, because it's natural on the business side, and you maybe have a domain model, and a different technical model, and this really is aligned with records, sealed classes, and all that stuff. It helps you to make it more clear and precise, and you can use it, and not overspan it, but you can use it. So virtual threads are part of JDK 21. That's the good thing. It's if no other thing is here, it's final marked. It's JAP 444 in this case, and improvements can go on. All the language stuff until 21 is here. I showed this maybe before, but this is interesting. You can maintain your code if you keep up with different descriptions in the programming language with switch statements. It's less code to program, and it's better to understand, and it's better readable, because it's more precise in the explanation of your coding. This is just one example, and you can combine all these different language features in Project Amber. And of course, someone would ask you within a migration, what is about a code review? That's always the case. And from 8 to 21, you maybe get rid of half of the code you did maybe in your application. And for each JDK release, you might get 10% more performance. And even if you put Graal underneath, you get another 10%. Though it's worthwhile to keep up, but on the other hand, you need to watch out for your code, and a code review is necessary. So Vector API, just to explain it shortly, because we had this here in many talks. It's an API to get closer to the instruction, single instruction, multiple data. The whole AI stuff, if I say it very bold, it's more metrics multiplications on that. Lots of them. It's math, and you need to bring this into a form where you can process this very fast. And if you do multiple multiplications and additions and assignments 4 times on the left, it takes you 4 times longer and much more underneath. And with single instruction multiple data, the hardware processor must be aware of this. This was a reason people are lucky, bought shares from NVIDIA. NVIDIA opened up the GPUs, and they could do it. They could run it in the data center, and AI helped to boost up the whole stuff what NVIDIA had. And they did this stuff, and formerly no one exploit the GPUs. And this is a key point. So we save in this simple example to show it up for all the AI stuff. What are at the end are multiplications in matrix. They can use it. And maybe foreign function, foreign memory API. And this was a major point here, to allocate foreign memory, like like a JDBC driver. They use JNI. We had 2 years ago some tests and implementations of using virtual threads on the JDBC driver. So conservative guys in the Oracle database development for JDBC switched to new technology, and the same here. JNI is hard stuff, and you always can get an malloc which points to somewhere. You don't have anything. Even if you have a stack dump, it's useless. It did not help you. It just throw down the Java instance from the outside. The red thing could be from an insurance, a tariff calculator, and formerly in Fortran, in C, C++, and you do a JNI call, and really get in touch with foreign memory. And with the foreign function and memory API, we have some tooling and some sorts to embrace it directly on the Java side. That you get here with JExtract from the header file of C, the structure in Java, and some glue code around. I would not say this is the latest, smartest thing, but it works and it shows the idea. You need to be careful on this. You need to have your hands on, and then you can run it on a Java central programming control without your thread goes down because of a memory problem in C, because it's all controlled in Java itself. Okay, I need, because of the time. JDK-22, additional ongoing stuff, shaping, improving the APIs. And 23, here the zero garbage collector, the generational mode was by default. Adjustments later on where people said, my experience is different, we need that. We can always change it, but we need time, and we have this 6 months train, and then another train will come. So it's just a matter how it is ranked and where is it. And here the JDK-24 with 24 JAPs. This is the latest, greatest. I guess you heard some things here. And I used it, the version before the patch. It's JDK-24 without service patch 1 or Java patch 1. And there is one JAP. It's called linking a runtime image without JMods. These are all the JMods. You find all the JMods here instantly for GraalVM, the compiler interface in the middle or something. So you have these from the Java module system. They are there. Why is it called without JMods? Of course, you can create your own image without having it in your application. This is part of the JDK. They must be there, like Java util as a package. You need to have these packages, but you can shape your own one. For instance, if you want to have an own image called myGraal24, you can add your modules with JLink, and then on the bottom you just have the Java base and the Graal compiler, which is experimental, not itself only the integration of it. The Graal compiler is there for 14 years, and it's for many years production ready, and we just save memory and processing consumption on this. So internal VM is there 3 packages. You have your own images, it's smaller, less space and the things you need. Different example is at modules from JavaFX, because I mentioned this before. It's a good example. It's downloadable outside. It's aligned with the Oracle JDK, and with JLink you can bring in the modules. And even there you get newer packages here, yeah, and you get a warning using incubator modules like JFX incubator input, incubator rich text. Things evolve and you get it here in your image, and you get a explanation how you treat this, yeah, that you are aware these are incubator stuff. And then you can ask the image with list modules, and it lists you the whole modules you need, the whole JavaFX modules from the SDK or from JMods and these incubator. It's just an example how to embrace things from the outside and bring it together in your project. What could you do? Though time's running. All the significant changes are written down in the Oracle JDK migration guide, and it's possible from 8 to 11, from 8 to 17, from 8 to 21, from 8 to 24. I choose this one, and you get a PDF here, for instance, JDK migration guide. Hope you can read it. Yeah. So all the significant changes are written down here in the JDK from 21 down, yeah, to lower releases. Yeah. Removed APIs are here described from 6 months to 6 months down. This is a very good checklist. Yeah. Beside your migration strategy, if you plan this, you have something you can walk along and decide, is this relevant for my application? Do I need to think about this changes in the garbage collector? The whole journey I described from garbage first to zero garbage collector. Yeah? And so there are 59 pages, and you find here the start as in the content overview with all the improvements. So this is one thing which is very helpful to be prepared for migration, and to select the start point is given, but to select hopefully an LTS release point where you end up, yeah, and plan the next steps. The very first I always recommend is run the application without compilation. Just do it, an older version, and run it with 21 in this case. If everything works fine, next step, then update your third-party libraries, all the surroundings. These are the very first adopters. There are almost 200 in the world. They working with the early access releases. They're part of the Open JDK. They work together. They do the stuff before everyone else comes later. Then use JDEPs to find Java dependencies of your application. But use JDEPs from your target platform, not from JDK lower versions. Yeah? You find internal APIs usage. If you have internal API usage like Java JDK sun.misc.unsafe, yeah, this is problematic, not for library maintainers. They need to rebuild this. But for normal users, you have problems if you have such amount of internal APIs. Run JDEPs, find some problems, and change it on this. What about APIs? Kay Horstmann, his colleague Mark Hoffman, he told me as well, there is the Java Almanach. Who knows this? It's a matrix, it's maintained, and you can start, you choose your JDK, I choose 8, and get on that point to 21. And though you have all the possibilities, it's a side check, to all the preparation you can just look into, oh, what are the new APIs in Java 21? Yeah, and made some 2 red lines, so it's cutted. Yeah, and here you see applets are gone. Hopefully everyone knows it. Yeah, and then the security manager is gone. Yeah, this, and you find this, and Corba, RMI over IOP as well. Things you don't need, they carved out. And you have a different point of view to watch out your migration. Yeah? What is about code? Code review, it's necessary, it's a thing, it's hard, but it's very good because you get rid of older stuff and getting more embrace to newer APIs. And thanks to Merlin Bögershausen, he gave me some of his slides. Open Rewrite is a interesting tool which is very effective with all the recipes here you can use. And yeah, there's a promise with lossless semantic tree. Of course, at the end, some things you need to maintain by your own hand, by your own experience with your own team. Yeah? But there is really a tooling which automates some code transformation with recipes. Declarative, straightforward things, yeah, and imperative things. Yeah. And this made it easy for their whole portfolio. But why did I do this? We had many feedback. If you have a Spring framework, or Spring Boot, for instance, someone else to take care of the responsibility about dependencies. And if you use a tool like Open Rewrite, transferring, migrating Spring Boot application, that could go very, very seamless without problems. Because someone else captured the problems inside the framework. For pure Java things, of course, maybe you have some older stuff, you need really to watch out, when do these older things occur? Could I maintain this, what's outside of a tooling? But it's very nice to have a tooling part of the dependency, the build tools with Maven, Gradle, and others. So you can use it from the CLI. It's a third way to help you to migrate code, the hard stuff, beside a newer infrastructure. And then you have examples here. The screenshot on your right. You see all the different things. How do you upgrade the versions, and which tools you have, replace threads, and adopting different newer things in your coding. And always ask the classes with methods from the newer versions, how is string implemented in that particular newer version. It gives you the answer, but you need to check it, and you need to come along with the right point. So I'm at the end. I hope you enjoyed this, and give you some hints and inspiration, hopefully, of some of the innovations. And it's the most exciting place in Java, because we do a lot and we do more. It's, after 30 years, still vibrant. And I hope you can participate at the Open JDK. Your company need to have a contributor agreement. It's the same as from Sun, for the open source part. As with Oracle, there's no real change. So you can be an Open JDK contributor and participate and shape things with the whole peer group. Thanks a lot.